Do not start YouTube automation in 2026. You need to be doing this instead. So here's how most people end up pursuing their YouTube automation journey. First, they start their channel and then they pick a niche. Now they've been advised that you need to hire a team. They're going to do everything for you. You just sit back and you relax, and then you start uploading. But that is not the approach that's going to take you to high profitability in 2026. Now, what I want to share with you in this particular video is the system that my students are using to scale their channels to thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars per month. I'm just going to break it down, the high level approach of what they are doing, so you can take it, you can copy it, and you can apply it to the channel that you want to build this year. So what you need to be thinking about as you're starting YouTube is that the way that YouTube automation has been set up in the past is no longer the ideal way of going about things. And I want to break it down to you so you understand, so that you're going to understand even further why this new, better approach is the way to go. So what do people do? Most people, they end up picking a niche because they saw it online. Maybe you're following me on Twitter. Maybe you're following me on Instagram. Maybe you only watch me on YouTube, right? Or maybe you're seeing so many other videos on YouTube or other people posting online, and that's how you find your niche. But they end up picking a niche without doing any proper market opportunity analysis. So they don't know what the demand is, so how many people want to watch the content. They don't know how much supply is in the market, so the level of competition. That makes it hard to break out and to really start gaining traction. They also don't even look at all at the income potential of the niche. So you want to make $10,000 a month, but even the biggest channels are making $3,000 a month. How are you going to be successful in hitting your goals? And this is when I work with people one-on-one. This is what I try and help them understand, so that we pick a niche for them that's going to be aligned to their income goals. Now, the other thing is outsourcing. So outsourcing, up until this point, has been a fantastic way of taking work off your plate and filling the gaps when you don't have a certain skill set or time availability to run a channel. However, it's always been the case that there have been issues with hiring, unreliable freelancers, low quality work sometimes. Also, you're going to have to wait, obviously, for your team to get the stuff back to you, whether that's a script, the voiceover, the edit, so on and so forth. And then obviously, it can be relatively costly, especially if you're making longer videos or you're making videos that are higher production quality. So with this being said, there's a lot of people that just end up starting YouTube automation channels. They make no progress, they make no money, and they end up losing money. So this is why there's now a better system that I highly recommend that you pursue and use, and I'm going to break it down for you in this video, but it is called the AI operator model. So this is the model that I'm currently teaching the people that I work with one-on-one, but I want to give you a peek into what it actually looks like. So talking about niches, it goes around finding an efficient way to analyze the opportunities in the market that you can pursue, because finding the right niche is like half the battle of making this successful. Also, we want to make sure that we can validate the income levels of the niche you want to pursue, so that if you want to make that 5K a month, really start to expand your income, really start to stop stressing about your financial responsibilities, then your channel has the opportunity to give that for you. Now, there's also picking your topics. We're not guessing anymore. We're not putting our financial resources behind topics that are not going to perform. We want to make sure that everything is aligned to maximizing your output. And that's going to give you obviously greater ROI, and that's going to make you more invested into continuing on your channel. But we also, using this model, are able to basically make the skill of making the videos themselves an irrelevant point in your process and in your journey. Because you're probably not an editor. I don't really know how to edit videos, and I made hundreds of thousands of dollars with faceless YouTube. And the reason I say this is because now we're removing the barrier for you to make it even easier, but we're also going to be able to increase the video quality, which is going to be important because no one's going to watch a garbage video. So what this is going to allow you to do is confirm your channel potential so that it's going to meet your growth and income goals. It's going to allow you to basically run a channel that's going to work whether you have a family, you don't have a family, you have a job, you don't have a job, you have all these extracurriculars, or you don't. It's still going to work within whatever your lifestyle looks like. And you're going to get faster results because the outputs are going to be a lot higher quality. Now, I'm going to walk you through what the process is going to look like, okay? So first we have the niche validation process, and this is under the umbrella of the AI operator model. So we want to be using data to make sure that we're pursuing niches that are actually going to make money. So I like to use TubeBob to do this. Again, invest in yourself a little bit. It's 20 bucks a month. Just don't go out to eat tomorrow for work, and you'll be able to afford it for the purposes that you're going to need it. So what I like to do is use the niche finder, and I just look at channels that are, let's say, 6 months old, faceless, monetized, making, let's say our goal is $4,000 a month. Okay, most people would be quite happy with that. And we're gonna look for English channels because we speak English. So what you wanna do is you want to basically look at channels in the market that are making this income level. So I'm gonna show you basically some different niches that I would say are viable, but also too, what I want to share with you is going to be how you can actually do some sort of analysis on them that's going to allow you to understand if they're actually worth your while. Because again, we want to make sure that the niche that you're pursuing is going to give you the opportunity to basically be able to make the money that you want, right? So here you can see, like, let's look at this channel. So one of the great things about this tool is that it's going to do the work for you by using the Analyze Niche button, right? So it's going to tell you, more or less different stats. I'm going to open up just a few so we can just kind of see what the results can look like. So that if you've never seen what this tool looks like before, then you'll be able to use it effectively. So as you can see, there's actually a lot of channels that have started within the last 6 months that are meeting our $3,000 mark right here. So that's actually fantastic. Now, you may be thinking, Adam, why are you scrolling through so many niches? Because I'm trying to weed out some of the stuff that's not usually as applicable for people that are like you and me, that we want to build something that it is of high quality and high value. And a lot of these channels are often just not, unfortunately. So I don't really want to give examples of channels that are not necessarily aligned to what we're looking for. So let's keep scrolling down. And here's more or less what the results are going to look like also as you're seeing these channels. So it's going to give you the market size. So let's just say the market size is 100. Well, that means that there's high amount of reach for our videos. But you can see that the niche is rather saturated, right? Obviously, there are a lot of channels that are talking about, let's say, psychology. So again, we're looking at the demand, which is the market size, the supply, which is the saturation level, and then profitability is going to basically link to what the RPM is on the channel and on the niche. And so again, here you can see it's about $4 to $6. To me personally, that's about average. So that would still be a viable opportunity. But basically what we're doing here is we're seeing, okay, can channels in these particular niches that we're looking at make the type of money that we want, right? So another example could be Navy updates, right? So we could take a look at this. You can see this channel is obviously doing particularly well. And so if we open it up right here, we can see that these videos are getting hundreds of thousands of views each, right? And so then this could be something that you want to pursue instead. And so again, you can just do the same type of analysis. Ideally, we want to have high interest. So that's going to be basically high market size. The lower saturation, the better. So obviously the score would be higher to be a more positive score. And then ideally, you're looking for hopefully a channel that has about $5, $6, $7, $8 RPMs or higher, so that you're going to be able to make a substantial amount of money from the views that your channel is generating. So that's how we validate the niche from the interest and competition side, and then also the profitability side. So you don't start this journey and waste your time because you picked a niche that's never going to make you any money. Now, let's talk about the ideation process, okay? You don't want to be guessing at what video topics are going to be of interest to people in your niche, right? Because then you could be spending money on videos that never get any traction. So again, we want to validate the supply and demand of topics for your channel. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the tool vidIQ to do this. So I'm just going to share with you an example channel right here. So we're going to open up this one. And so you can see here that we have the channel Dish Closer. So you can see that it's sharing videos that are basically talking about foods to avoid, restaurants to avoid, brands to avoid, stores to avoid for your well-being. So how are we going to find topics if, let's say, we find ourselves in this particular niche that we could pursue? So you can either guess, you can either look at outlier scores, but what I've found and what my students have found to be the most effective strategy for picking topics that perform is by using the vidIQ trending feature. So what this is going to do is this is actually going to identify videos within this channel that are getting the most views per hour. So as you can see here, videos that are getting 500 views per hour a month ago. So what does that tell us? The video is a month old, it's still getting regular viewership. So people are still interested in learning about different bread brands that, you should avoid at all costs. Now, personally, if it was me, I would want to make a video that's going to be something like 10 bread brands that you should avoid at all costs and 2 you should eat, to basically separate my video from their video. Maybe I want to present the information in a different way, or maybe I want to share 7 other brands that are not included in this video that's going to make my video unique in the market. Okay, you don't want to be pursuing topics that are not going to perform well. And sometimes people just say, well, look at videos with high outlier scores like a 4x outlier. Sure, that video might be an outlier, but if there's no more demand for the topic, then why are you going to pursue it? So again, not a lot of people tell you that, but you've made it 11 minutes into the video, so obviously I want to reward you. Okay, next, let's talk about the editing process. Now, in the good old days of YouTube automation, way back when I started, maybe even when you were contemplating starting, you'd basically have to have your channel, then you get a team to help you with the script writing, the voiceovers, the editing, and you'd put it all together and you'd upload the video with your title and your thumbnail. Now, like I alluded to earlier, there is some complications working with a team. Some channels you're still going to have certain components be outsourced depending on what you're doing. But I believe in 2026, most types of channels that you want to build are going to be able to be built exclusively using AI. So when it comes to editing, a tool you can use for the editing process is going to be VidRush. So I've been testing VidRush. My students have been using it as well. One of them that I showed you at the start of the video used it to scale up to $7,000 a month. And so what I want to share with you is effectively how this tool works, okay? Because this is literally the AI operator model in action right here, and you're going to be pretty surprised how simple it is. So all you need to do using the tool is to enter in the topic of the video, so write in the title. Then you're going to want to basically just give it instructions. It's almost like you're using ChatGPT, except for the fact that this tool is basically going to output a completed video for you. You don't have to write any scripts. You don't have to do any voiceovers. You don't have to do multiple different tools. You don't have to edit anything yourself. You just give it the title and then it makes it for you, which is incredible, right? So it's never been easier to make money with YouTube automation. That being said, you need the strategy, which is what I'm walking you through right now. All right, so as you can see here, you give a bit of context, and then what it's going to do is it's going to start generating the video. So it's basically going to do the research, write the script. You're going to be able to pick what voiceover you want, and then it's going to start to analyze everything. It's going to put a video together, and what you're going to effectively get, and just to be clear here, it takes about an hour for the video to be output right now. I'm sure things will speed up over time, but you don't even have to be at your desk. You don't have to be at your computer. You just simply do the prompt, go through the motions of it, and then walk away. It's going to do all the preparation and editing for you, and you just have to come back to get the video once it's done. So what it's going to look like is it's going to end up being a timeline like this. Personally, when I use it, I don't edit anything because I just don't want to play around with it. And the videos that I've been able to produce have generated tens and tens of thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views, and they perform just fine because the structure of the videos are really high quality. The tool basically sources all the footage for you, so then you just basically get this output that you'll just render out the video, and then you can pair it with a title and thumbnail that is going to complement it. And the tool can even make thumbnails for you, but again, it's up to you if you want to make those particular items yourself, right? So just to give you some context here, I'm big on helping people run channels not just generally, but profitably. So part of that is controlling your costs and understanding how costs play into your journey. So under the AI operator model, I highly suggest relying as much as possible on AI if you can versus outsourcing, because outsourcing can be expensive. So I wanted to just briefly compare what it costs to outsource versus use AI to make the videos. So if you're outsourcing, let's say you're on Upwork, which is the most common platform, you can expect to pay roughly $75 just for the editing, which is not the script, not the voiceover, just the editing for a 10-minute video. Let's say you're doing 10 videos per month. It's going to cost you roughly $750, which is, a reasonable amount of money, right? It's not no money. It's not a crazy amount, but it is, definitely hits the pocketbook a little bit. Now, let's compare that to if you were to upload 10 videos using VidRush. Well, in this particular case, you would be able to upload 10 videos for roughly $239 per month, the same video length, etc. And you don't have to deal with wait times for freelancers, going back and forth, getting in disagreements about the video editing. You're just going to get the final output. So basically, $239 compared to $750. Obviously, if we can lower our costs, it makes us much more likely to be able to run a profitable channel. Now, you're going to get the output of the video itself, but there are still packaging considerations. So remember, packaging is your title and the thumbnail. So it's a package around the video that people see before they click on the video. So what you really want to focus on is you want to focus on understanding how to use AI to create these components, especially if you don't have any skill in the design or the creation of these components as it stands. So first we're going to talk about how you're going to use AI to make these things. So I'm pretty big on using ChatGPT right now because the image generator is great. It's already a very advanced tool in and of itself. And most people are most familiar with it. So it just makes it easy to show people how to use this tool versus other ones that are relatively unknown. So moving forward, let's say we want to use ChatGPT for titles. So what you want to do is enter in the topic into ChatGPT and then ask it to give you 25 titles for your video. So let's just open this up right now, and we're going to open up ChatGPT. And so what this is going to effectively show you is it's going to show you an example. So let's say we have a video on 10 coffee brands you should never drink, kind of similar to the channel that I just shared with you, this one right here, Dishclosure. Okay, great. So now what this is going to do is basically give you different angles. So stop drinking these 10 coffee brands immediately. The 10 most toxic coffee brands on store shelves. So what this is doing is basically doing the thinking for you around the titles that can be used on your video. And why I share this with you as well is that you should be uploading multiple thumbnails and titles on your videos to do the testing. And so it can already be hard to come up with one title sometimes. So to be able to have numerous that then you can play around with, you can review and then upload when you're uploading your video is going to be super powerful. And it's also just going to cut down the time required that you're going to have to allocate to YouTube every week. Because if you're watching this video, likely, you have a job, maybe you have a family, you have kids. And so we want to make sure that you're moving things forward as much as possible with the least amount of time investment. Now, let's talk about the thumbnails, because I know one thing that scares people is, well, I don't have any design skills. How can I ever create thumbnails for my channel? So let's go through an example right here. So let's just say that we are making a video about coffees to avoid. So we just made this basically title right here. Fantastic. So here's how I'm presently creating thumbnails for channels that I'm running. So I'm just showing you exactly what I do as I use the AI operator model. So I said, create a YouTube thumbnail showing a moldy bag of Starbucks coffee and use the text, never drink this. So what I'm basically doing is I'm thinking, okay, what is the topic and what would be something that would basically catch people's attention and then get the tool to create it for me. So I'm just going to blow this up a little bit. Number one, never drink this. You see you have the yellow and the red, which are obviously going to be, warning colors for people coming across the video. You have the mold, which is basically obviously something that communicates toxicity. And then you have something like Starbucks, which is going to be probably number one, a brand people can identify. And number two it's probably going to be something that they even consume, which means that they're going to be even more enticed on watching the video than if it were some random no-name brand. So again, this was just simply made by using one single prompt from ChatGPT. This is why I don't really think that you need design skills to create thumbnails anymore, but you do have to think about what should go on the thumbnail. And if you're ever confused and you're thinking to yourself, I don't know what should even go on there, basically what you can do is you can go back to chat and you can just feed ChatGPT, hey, I need a thumbnail on this particular topic using this title. Basically, you can say, can you give me a thumbnail that's going to match it? And it'll give you something that can be rather compelling. But as you gain more experience with YouTube, you'll more or less know what's going to resonate with your audience. Or you can just look at role model channels in your niche to see what's working and then use that as a point of reference. So that's how you want to go about doing it. And if you want to learn how to get monetized in even more depth in 2026, watch this next video.